It's thinking. All right. Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Happy Hour podcast with Matt and Ricky. You'll notice this is not Ricky. Ricky is away this week again, doing some family things. So we're going to wish him the best. He did leave us some bets as we talk about Super Wild Card Weekend, but I'm honored to be joined today by Mrs. Nighthawk, my wife, Lindsay, who, if you've been following me on my weekly picks, you know that we pick against each other, and this year we finished incredibly close. I finished with 169 wins in the regular season. She finished with 168. As you pointed out, one of the few times that I've actually beaten you in recent years.
Yes.
She's here making her podcast debut. How do you feel being on an NFL podcast?
Very unprepared.
All right. Well, we're going to roll into the schedule. It's going to be a quick hitter today. I'm going to preview the games, give my pick, and then she's going to give her pick. And as we just discussed, her pick might be better than mine. We're going to start with the Saturday slate. There are two games for Super Wild Card Weekend on Saturday. The first one kicks off at 4:30 Eastern. It's the Las Vegas Raiders, who finished 10-7 at the Cincinnati Bengals. They finished 10-7, won the AFC North. It has been a few years since the Bengals were in the playoffs. They last went to the playoffs and hosted a game in 2015. These two teams did play each other in the regular season back in November. Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs played for the Raiders, so they were at full strength, but they lost at home 32-13 in that one. The game was actually a lot closer than that score would indicate, with the Bengals really thriving on a 19-point fourth quarter that led to their victory. All that being said, the Raiders ended the regular season incredibly hot, winning their last four to get in. I am picking the Las Vegas Raiders. How about you?
You're picking the Raiders?
I know. Everyone who is in my Bronco fan group has now abandoned and forsaken me.
I'm picking the Raiders.
And you're doing it because of your affinity for Derek Carr. Where did he play?
He played at Fresno State.
That's right. My wife's hometown. The nightcap, the primetime game on Saturday night, is a divisional rematch. The New England Patriots finished 10-7, got a wild card, are at the Buffalo Bills. They finished 11-6 and actually won the AFC East. Game is supposed to be in single digits, maybe hovering around 0 degrees as that one kicks off on Saturday night. These two teams played each other twice in the regular season, both in December. On December 6th, in a game that was also bitterly cold, Mac Jones only threw the ball 3 times. The Patriots ran for 222 yards, and they pulled out a 14-10 win. In the rematch on December 26th, the Bills flipped the tables in New England, won that one 33-21. The Bills finished as the much hotter team. After that first matchup on December 6th, the Bills finished the regular season 4-1 to win the AFC East. The Patriots finished 1-3 down the stretch, that one win being a shellacking of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's hard to bet against Bill Belichick, but I picked the Bills to be in the Super Bowl in August. I'm not jumping ship yet. I am picking the Buffalo Bills.
I'm picking the Bills too.
Okay, so far we're in lockstep. It'll be interesting when we get to Ricky's bets. He's betting heavily on the state of Pennsylvania, which features prominently into our Sunday lineup. There are 3 games on Super Wildcard Sunday. The first game in the morning kicks off at 1 Eastern. Is the Philadelphia Eagles 9-8, kind of the lowest seed into the NFC playoffs, facing off against Tom Brady, the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 13-4. The Buccaneers had a pretty good season, returning all the starters from the Super Bowl era, but we know Chris Godwin is out for the season. Ronald Jones has been ruled out, and Antonio Brown is no longer on the team. That leaves them a little banged up. Cyril Grayson is also doubtful, not likely to play. Mike Evans should be there. Rob Gronkowski, old reliable Rob Gronkowski should be there, and it looks like Leonard Fournette is tracking to get activated, so that'll give some weapons, but this is going to come down to old man Tom Brady, who finished with 5,316 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. He's still got it. Makes me feel ashamed of myself. On the other side, it's Jalen Hurts, who's been powering the Eagles offense all season. First full year as a starter, he went 8-7 in the 15 starts he made, threw for 3,144 yards, 16 TDs, 9 INTs. rushed for 784 yards and 10 touchdowns. They're really going to be needing him to step up big if they're going to have a chance against Tampa Bay. But I'm going with the Buccaneers.
I'm going Buccaneers too.
Yeah.
We should have talked about this before.
Hard to bet against Tom Brady. It's okay if we pick the same team. Perhaps the game of the day is the late afternoon window game, the San Francisco 49ers 10-7 at the Dallas Cowboys 12-5. I think this could be one of the most intriguing matchups. Both teams have upstart defenses. It's really been the turnaround with Dan Quinn in Dallas that has helped defensively for them to have a standout season. Trayvon Diggs and rookie linebacker Micah Parsons leading the way there. They've been really good, but on offense, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, Dalton Schultz, Tony Pollard, all the weapons out there for Dak Prescott. On the other side, Jimmy G returned with the broken thumb last week and actually led the 49ers to an overtime win over the Rams to get them in the playoffs. Looked pretty good. He's got a healthy Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle, and he's got Elijah Mitchell behind him. This could be a whole lot of fun. But again, I picked the Cowboys to be in the Super Bowl prior to the season. I can't quit you, Dallas and Dak. I'm going with the Cowboys.
I want to pick the 49ers, but I think the Cowboys are going to win.
I know. It's a shame those two teams are playing each other because I would have liked to pick the 40. I thought the 49ers would have a chance to kind of pull an upset, but I just don't like the matchup. So I'm sticking with Dallas. Yeah. I'm prepared to be sad on Monday when my Super Bowl picks are out. The nightcap on Sunday night might be, to me, it feels like the most lopsided of the playoff matchups. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 9-7-1, just squeaked into the playoffs when Daniel Carlson hit that field goal at the end of overtime for the Raiders. They are going up against Kansas City Chiefs, 12-5. The Chiefs did not end up with the top seed in the AFC, but I think they're probably among the teams I would consider for the best team in the AFC. The Steelers, they've fought hard all season with Ben Roethlisberger and that defense. Najee Harris has been a big part of it. He hurt his elbow in Week 18. That limited him there. He's not really gotten to be on the practice field. I expect him to be limited on Sunday night. By the way, these two teams played each other on December 26th. The Chiefs won 36-10 in a game that honestly wasn't that close. So if I was NBC looking at my big Sunday night game, I don't know how pumped I am other than you get Mahomes. Ben maybe tried to pull the reverse jinx by saying the Steelers had no chance. He might have just been being honest. I don't think they have a chance. I expect this to be at least a 20-point win for the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs are going to win.
And the last game of Super Wild Card Weekend is the Arizona Cardinals 11-6 at the Los Angeles Rams, 12-5. The Rams edged the Cardinals to win the NFC West, but both of these teams sputtered a little bit down the stretch. This is the Monday night game. That's the change they made to Super Wild Card Weekend. If you remember last year, we had 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. This year's 2 Saturday, 3 Sunday, and we get a Monday night, so 3 consecutive nights of primetime games. Congratulations to all you gentlemen out there. Let's start showing Petty. I think it just clicked in for my wife that there are games every night this weekend. So, mixed bag. This is another case where the teams split in the regular season. The Arizona Cardinals won 37-20 in week 4 of the regular season in Los Angeles. At the time, both teams were undefeated. The Cardinals were on their way to starting 7-0. That got them to 4-0 as they slipped past the Rams. When the teams met later in the year, the Rams won 30-23 and started gaining traction. The Cardinals have, under Cliff Kingsbury's leadership, struggled with losing streaks to end most of the season. Famously, last year, they had a chance to make the playoffs, but lost 6 of their last 9. They kind of limped into the playoffs this year as well, including a loss to the Seattle Seahawks in Week 18. But as I mentioned, the Rams have struggled a little bit too. Matthew Stafford threw 7 interceptions in the final 3 games of the regular season, at least 2 in every game. And that ended up coming back to bite them as they lost to the 49ers and dropped all the way to the 4 seed. Still, I think the Rams end up pulling this one out.
Oh, I think the Cardinals are going to win.
Hey, it took us all the way down, but so we could end up tied for the season at the end of this weekend. Well, before we transition to ending with a little bit of a pop culture corner, I'm going to give you Ricky's bets for the week. Ricky did give us some bets he liked. And as I said, he's all in on the state of Pennsylvania, apparently. He likes both the Eagles and the Steelers over 1.5 touchdowns for the team. So, the Steelers only were able to score one touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter when they played the Chiefs before. He thinks their offense is going to be a little more prolific in the playoffs, maybe an indication he thinks the game will be a little bit closer. He also thinks the Eagles are going to be able to put up some points on the Buccaneers. They'll have to do it through the air because the Buccaneers have a pretty good run defense. Sticking in that game with the Steelers, he likes the Chiefs to have a winning margin of 1 to 6 points at the end of the first quarter. So he thinks they will end the first quarter with a lead. He likes Brady over 0.5 interceptions. I was a little bit surprised he picked this one since Ricky really loves Tom Brady, but he thinks Brady will throw at least one interception. And we both picked the Raiders. I didn't get Ricky's official picks, but he liked the Raiders plus 7.5 points over the Bengals as one of his bets, which tells me he thinks the Raiders at bare minimum will be much more competitive than they were when those teams met in November. So that's going to do it for our super wild card weekend preview. But before we get out of here, we're going to end the way that Ricky and I always end, which is with a little pop culture corner. And this week, I'm going to kick off by talking about the big release this week, which is the Scream film. Both Ricky and I managed to see it last night. If you want to see, I went solo based on that reaction. You can definitely tell why. I have loved the Scream franchise. I've been watching it for 25 years. I remember when I saw the first one and when it came out in 1996 when I was in high school. I was really excited to see it. There are some elements of it that work, but the third act is a hot mess. I ended up giving it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Ricky gave it a C+. If you want to hear his quick thoughts on Twitter, he blasted out a link to his YouTube review. It's a 30-second review, so it's not a big commitment. He had some of the same qualms with it. You can also read his full print review that he released today. But since I always tailor Pop Culture Corner to whoever's on with me, we are going to talk about a couple of things that Lindsay and I watched together. One of them, if you follow me on the roundtable, you know I love the show Yellowstone. That was one of the shows I also picked for my top 10 shows of 2021. Well, they have a new spinoff called 1883, which shows you basically how the Duttons got and set up the Dutton Ranch. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill play the patriarch and matriarch of the Dutton clan. But this show, 1883, which also stars Sam Elliott, is streaming on Paramount Plus. It's basically their journey from Texas out west on the trail. We've been watching it together. There are 4 episodes so far that have been released. I've really enjoyed it. I thought it was a little something different. I know this is a genre you like.
Yes.
What have you enjoyed about the show?
I like the storytelling of it. I think it's a beautiful way that they've told the story of not just men that usually get portrayed in shows like this. So,
yeah, and if you like Yellowstone, you know that Beth is one of the central characters, probably one of the strongest characters. Well, in 1883, it is the oldest daughter who is one of the strongest characters, and also Faith Hill, her character as the matriarch, very strong. But that's been really enjoyable. It comes out on Sundays on Paramount Plus. But Lindsay, only a couple times a year gets incredibly excited about a movie. She is incredibly excited about a movie that is releasing next Friday. Preview screenings start on Thursday night. This is one, guys, if you're looking for a date night, if you're looking for a way to make up to the special woman in your life, the fact that you're about to spend 3 consecutive days watching nothing but football, Redeeming Love, a new romance, opens next Friday. It is based on a novel. I know it's one of your favorites. What do you love about the story?
I just love the story of the love that they have for each other. It never ends. The unfailing love that they have.
And you've seen the trailer. It seems like you're pretty excited about the adaptation. Looks like it matches your expectations and hopes for a book?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because I love the book. The book is very good. But it covers some darker things. And so it'll be interesting to see how it portrays to the film. So
that one comes from director DJ Caruso. It opens next week. Guys, all I'm saying is there are no NFL games on Friday night. College football's over. it's time for a date night. It's time to make up for 6 months of snubbing your entire family, especially after this weekend. So if you want to check that out, Redeeming Love, we are going to see it on Thursday night. So depending on when Ricky and I record next week, I will have some thoughts on the movie. Looking forward to seeing it. It's always fun to go out there. I feel like this one might be a little safer for me than all the posts I got tagged in when we saw 50 Shades of Grey. That's going to wrap it up for today. Remember, playoffs kick off tomorrow, and enjoy Super Wild Card Weekend.